Hello everyone and welcome back to the UConn Huskies Dynasty. It's the last episode of the regular season. We know UConn is going to be in a bowl game. We obviously don't know which one yet, and they'll be finishing out their regular season against UTSA and UCF. Now, I want to mention that for whatever reason, UTSA listed as a 76 overall. I don't think that that is actually true. I've noticed an occasional bug in the game where certain teams may not have their overall show as increased after the training in the preseason. But this is not a 76 overall team. It's not a 77 overall offense. It's a good offense. I would say at the very least on par with us, and we're at a 79. And I might give them a slight edge just because their receiver room is that much better than ours, with guys like Devin McEwen and Willie McCoy at an 86 and an 81. But just keep that in mind. I don't think they're actually a bad team. I just think it is a visual bug of their overalls. And before we get started in today's episode, I wanted to talk about something I haven't mentioned much at all this season, and that's guys who are at risk of transferring. There are a few of them that would be a pretty big deal if they left. I do have one question for you guys. If you know, Lee Millette III, he's a senior. We don't actually have to worry about him transferring, but his deal breaker is playing time. It says have D-, but he's our starting strong safety. I don't understand how we could theoretically give him more playing time. The guy's on the field constantly. So if you guys know exactly what that means, let me know. Maybe it's supposed to say playing style and he doesn't like that. Obviously not a concern with Lee Millette. I'm just curious for myself because this might become an issue in the future. But of the main guys that are actually at risk of transferring is a guy who tried to transfer last season that we talked into staying. That's Cole Welliver. I would say right now he's currently in line to be the starter after Evers graduates next season. That would be his redshirt junior year, but he values brand exposure. We don't have much. It might improve next season, being that we will be in the ACC, but he may leave this season before that. It's not the end of the world because we do have Chester Roach as well as Dorian Tobin, the recruit we're about to get, that would take his place anyway, but it does kind of suck. He's probably going to be really good by the time he's a junior. Already has a pretty strong arm and decent accuracies. We will also have Tucker McDonald. That will be his senior season. So if all else fails, at least we will have him to start if nobody else is ready. Another guy that is a transfer risk is Brian Toller. He's currently in line to be the starter next season. So it would be actually pretty bad to lose him, honestly. We do have Trey Keenan, who we have redshirted this season, that will probably be close to a 70 overall next year, so he can start. Would obviously just prefer if Toller was on the team. And a lot of you guys might remember I redshirted Tyquan Taylor at the beginning of the season, despite the fact that he's a senior, hoping that he would be ready to be our starter next season. I don't know when it happened, but he lost his redshirt status. He was playing in the games for some reason. I guess I must have had him in a wrong spot on the depth chart or something, but he has competed in 5 games this season. He is no longer redshirt eligible, so he will be graduating this year. We will not have Tyquan Taylor next season. So keeping Toller would actually be a pretty big deal. And looking through the rest of our players, those are really the only two that are any transfer risk at all, which is pretty nice. We won't lose really any players other than those two probably. And last thing before we get started in the match against UTSA, let's take a look at the recruiting board. We have 13 total committed players currently. If you don't recall, we are losing 21 seniors this season, and we have a number of other players that we are going after. A new guy that I have added is another tight end in Jerry Willies. I haven't been able to scout him fully, but it looks like he's probably going to have pretty decent speed, and I would kind of hope so as a vertical threat tight end that's a little undersized at 6'2", 246. He has 85 acceleration, which leads me to believe that the speed is somewhere in that area as well. He didn't have any offers yet, so we have sent the house his way, hoping to get another tight end. We did get Marcus Engler, a 4-star tight end, to commit already. Shaquille Cleland is a 4-star guy we're going after. A&M and Texas Tech are in the battle now. I do get a little worried about A&M being able to just overtake us if they want to, so we'll definitely have to keep a close eye on Shaquille Cleland. Also, his deal breaker is coach prestige. If we lose any coach prestige at all, we will lose out on Shaquille Cleland. But with all that out of the way, it is time for some UConn Huskies football, traveling to Texas to face off against UTSA, a team that apparently on paper not very good, but I think the paper's lying. I think it's a pretty good football team, and we'll see how we match up. 2 more games left on the regular season calendar. UConn should have a bowl game, so we'll have at least 3 more games this season, as we will start with the football. Evers back to pass, throws immediately for Lewis Hansen, who's brought down after a pickup of 2. That brings us to a 3rd down and 8 from the 27. Evers back to pass, goes over the middle, wants Shamar Porter, and he holds on and has the first to the 43. 2nd and 9 from the 44. Evers out of the shotgun, will hand off to Victor, trying to find the edge, jukes back to the inside, has a first to the UTSA 45. So big first down. Evers back to pass again. Blitz on its way, but they left Lewis Hansen, the tight end, open underneath. That's another first down for UConn. 2nd down from the 34. So we're back to throw again. Going over the middle, wanting Skylar Bell. It's a little underthrown, but it's received anyway to the 14. So UConn in the red zone quickly to start the day. And on 1st and 10 from the 14. We're back to pass with Evers. RPO, Victor Rosa wide open. Can he find the end zone? He does. Touchdown UConn to start the day. That offensive possession looked very easy. Outside of really the 1 sack, a couple incompletions, UConn driving down the field with no issue, and they'll take the lead to start the day. Here is another look at the UTSA offense. Owen McCown is the starting QB. Halfback is Kavorian Barnes, and their second halfback is Rocco Griffin, a pretty good backfield. Wide receiver 1 is Devin McEwen, and then they have Willie McCoy, Jace Wilson, and Devontae Jeffries. And then the tight end 1, Houston Thomas. There are some significant injuries for UTSA today, including wide receiver David Amador II. Nick Booker-Brown is out, as is Corey Godinet. So let's see how the UConn Huskies defense plays today. It's McCown out of the shotgun. Fakes the handoff to throw on the first play. Down he goes. He got it off, but it falls incomplete. As now we'll see a 2nd down and 10 from the 14. Man in motion. It's a jet motion, and it is the jet touch pass to him. He's going to have the first down, spitting out 2 defenders, breaking a Chris Grubbs tackle attempt, eventually brought down by Damon Brinson. But it's a big first down for UTSA, and now they'll hurry it up. As McCown changes up the play, halfback switches sides, and they're going to go to the air here. Over the middle, over the head of Raheem Lovelace, and a completion down the field all the way to the 33. So a big 1st and 10 UTSA, moving with no problem, just as UConn did. And it's going to be another fake handoff. McCown back to throw, all kinds of time, wide open underneath the zone. And a first down for UTSA again. To make it 2nd and 7. McCown to pass again. Under some pressure, Bryce Yates in the backfield. McCown throws it away, 3rd down. 3rd and 7 from the 20 for the Roadrunners. McCown back to pass. He throws it right to Raheem Lovelace. He drops the interception. It falls incomplete, and UTSA gonna have to settle for a field goal that really should have been picked. The field goal was good, so it is 7-3 for the UConn Huskies, starting from their own 25 as usual. Victor Rosa on the carry, jukes back to the inside. A flag is down. My guess is that that's going to be holding on Jacob Rizzi. It is holding, but who's it on? It's Jacob Rizzi. So instead of a big gain for Victor Rosa, it comes all the way back. It's 1st and 18 from the 17. Evers back to pass, wants the tight end Alex Honig. There is a flag down yet again, and they're calling that pass interference. I don't know if I agree, but I'll take it. This UTSA defensive line has been getting in the backfield pretty easily on passing plays. 2nd and 10. Go to the ground with Victor Rosa, has a small lane and gets 7 yards. That'll make it a 3rd down and 3 out of the pistol. Darrell Robinson in the backfield. Evers back to pass. Rolling, firing, and finding Skylar Bell underneath the zone coverage. 1st and 10. 2nd and 10 from the 43 as we'll go to the ground this time, but no room for Victor Rosa. It's a loss of 3. So a 3rd down and long for the UConn Huskies. Evers back to pass. Tries to go over the middle, ran out of time, and it's a big loss. 4th and 20, and UConn will have to punt it away. The right guard, Ben Morosky, and the left tackle, Jacob Rizzi, get beat badly on this play, and I might even argue that that's another hold for Rizzi there on the left. Good stop there from the UTSA defense, and their offense will get another opportunity. On 1st and 10, down goes McCown, and it's Matt Hoffman in the backfield. A loss of 9. Our defense not wanting to be outdone by the sacks. It's now 2nd and 19 after the Matt Hoffman tackle for loss. It's going to be a jet touch pass for UTSA. It's Zachary Spears all over it, no gain. On 3rd and 19 from the 18, McCown out of the shotgun. Back to pass. Goes over the middle, dumps it off, just have to make a tackle here, and we do. A 4th and 10 for UTSA, they'll punt it away. UConn offense takes back over, good field position, starting from their own 38 as Evers will throw, and it's a screen set up for Skylar Bell, and the blocking kind of getting more in the way than it was helping. 2nd and 5. From the 43, 2nd down, 5 to go, Evers. Back to pass again, and he's gonna go down once more. The 2nd sack on the day for UTSA. Sort of seemed like that guy just wasn't touched. The offensive line appears to have just gotten confused. Jaden Bass misses his assignment. Down goes Nick Evers. The 2nd quarter will get started with another 3rd and long for UConn. Evers stepping up in the pocket, had a man over the middle, but time ran out. Another sack, another punt. So a couple scores from each team and then a couple punts. As it's 1st and 10 from the 42 for UTSA. McCown by himself, so of course looking to throw. Has all kinds of time. He's launching one down the field. Wants his man McEwen. It's swatted away by Chris Grubbs. 3rd down and 10 for UTSA. Looking to get some points on the board. Need a 1st down to get started. As he's going to dump it off to the running back. Lovelace was there if Chadwick didn't have the tackle, but he did. And UTSA will punt again, a defensive battle so far. 1st and 10 from the 14 for UConn's next drive, and we're going to get a handoff to Victor Rosa, and there's another flag down. We just can't run it to the left. This time it was Mike Wilson, the center, with the holding penalty. Makes it a 1st and 16. We'll try the ground again. Rosa makes a cut. Lucky to get any yards. This time it's only 2. Feels like we need to be throwing downfield more, but we've just had no time to throw either, as Evers back to pass. Wants the screen for Victor Rosa. Got bumped off his line. 4th and 11, another punt. So I believe the scoring summary to this point would read as touchdown, field goal, and then 5 punts between the two teams. 1st and 10 from the 48. As they set up a screen, but a miscommunication there. 8 minutes left to go in the half in what has been a pretty defensive battle outside of the first 2 drives. As McCown will throw immediately, finding his man. Broken tackle, but Spears is there. 3rd and 5. From the 47, 3rd down and 5. Can UConn force another punt away? McCown over the middle, has his man. It's McEwen. He did get the first to the 41. 1st and 10 in UConn territory. 7.5 left to play in the half. McCown, all kinds of time to throw, dumps it off. Some running room here, and it's just short of the first for Devontae Jeffries. McCown out of the shotgun. Will actually hand it off this time. Good running room. Chris Grubbs maybe saving a touchdown with that tackle. This is the best either of the two offenses has looked in quite some time. 1st and 10 from the 23. Empty backfield for McCown. As time goes over the middle and finds his halfback. 3rd down and 3 from the 16 as McCown will hand it off. A huge running lane, maybe even a touchdown. No, Lee Millette stops that. 1st and goal though at the 6. 2nd and goal from the 5 for the Roadrunners. As it's going to be a throw to the left side, completely untouched on the RPO as the tight end. Touchdown UTSA. And after 5 straight punts, finally another team scores, as it's going to be 10-7 after the PAT. UTSA takes the lead. 1st and 10 at the 25 for UConn, having a hard time offensively since the first drive. Seems like the running game would be working if we weren't getting holding calls nearly every running play. This time we don't. It's 5 yards. A big 3rd down here for the UConn Huskies from the 32. As Victor Rosa going to get the carry. No holding call, at least to this point, and Rosa's got the first all the way to the 45. 4 minutes left to play in the half, and on 1st and 10, going back to the ground, Victor Rosa on the carry. See, we just got to run the offense through the senior halfback. Fast forward to play, it's 2nd and 1 from the 34. Rosa and Robinson in the backfield, and it's going to be a handoff to Victor, and he does get the first, but only just. 1st and 10 from the 33. Man in motion is Skylar Bell, and he'll get it on a run play. Good blocking there from Gathings on the right, and it's a pickup of 9. 2-minute warning is come and gone. 2nd and 1. We're back to pass. Victor Rosa will get the reception, and he's inside the 10 to the 7, first and goal, UConn. UConn looking to take the lead back before we head to halftime. Victor Rosa on the carry, flag down. That looked like a face mask to me. It is a face mask. It'll be an automatic first down. Robinson and Rosa in the backfield once again on first down and goal. We take the snap. We hand off to Robinson. He can't get in. No gain. Trying to leave as little time on the clock as possible for UTSA. Their goal line defense has been very solid. Third and goal from the 2. Rosa picks up a block so Evers can throw back corner, end zone, incomplete. And that was Toller on the attempted reception. The throw was a little behind him, and Toller just, I guess, lacks the body control to be able to make that snag. He's out of bounds. So we'll have to settle for the field goal attempt. And I might have missed it. Oh my goodness. I would have freaked out if I missed that chip shot. Zach Costanzo's kick is good. All knotted up as we head to the halftime update. 10-10 here in the Alamo Dome. More rushing yards for UConn, but neither team really finding a lot of success offensively. We have dominated the time of possession. That makes sense. UTSA does run a hurry-up offense. I do feel like the key to victory for us is going to be the running game. It's just a matter of if Jacob Rizzi can stop holding. UTSA starts with the football here in the second half. First and 10 from the 25. We're going to start with a throw, and it's knocked away by Jordan Wright. That makes it a 3rd down and 10 from the 25. McCown, of course, going to be looking to throw. And finding his man, a huge hit from Zachary Spears, but it's completed anyway. And they will actually go to the ground this time, over pursued by Curvins Chute. Damon Brinson missing the tackle, and it's a 1st and 10 to the 46. Suddenly we can't stop the UTSA offense. Moving with relative ease now after a number of punts in a row. Another RPO that works out, breaking a tackle, and a pickup of 8. And that sets up a 2nd and 2 at the UConn 38. It is a draw play to the halfback, Lovelace there, but he does get the first down. Barnes in the backfield still from the 36, 1st and 10 UTSA. Another draw play. Spears is there, broken tackle, but it tripped him up enough. And that made it a pickup of 3, 2nd and 7, as they'll go again RPO. And it is a pickup of a few, I think 6, to make it 3rd and 1. 3rd and 1, as it's going to be a handoff Barnes, and he's got the first Lovelace on the tackle. 1st and 10 from the 25 as McCown. Go back to pass, has all kinds of time. Throws right side, has McEwen wide open. Jordan Wright wasn't even close in coverage. I have to take another look at that. Jordan Wright bumping into Chris Grubbs in the middle of the field. Ended up a solid car length at least behind McEwen. So from the 3-yard line, it is an empty set for McCown. He's back to pass, goes right side, end zone, touchdown UTSA. Looking unstoppable offensively suddenly. They've made some adjustments, and UConn's defense just cannot keep up. Devontae Jeffries on the reception. The junior receiver getting a touchdown, and UTSA taking the lead back. 1st and 10 UConn. Been a while, it feels like, since we've seen the offense. From the 25, going to start the drive with a handoff to Victor Rosa. Huge running lane, great blocking, one man to beat, jukes him out, nothing but open field in front of him, and he's the fastest man on the football field. Victor Rosa, one play, he matches the Roadrunners with a UConn Huskies touchdown. I cannot understate how valuable he is to this offense. He has carried it the entire season. He carried it most of last season to the bowl victory. We are going to miss him desperately after this year. What a play by Victor Rosa. It took UTSA 13 plays to get a touchdown. It took us 1 off the back of Victor Rosa. 17-17, all knotted up again. This is complete. And a pickup of 5. The UTSA, of course, going back to their hurry-up style of offense. 2nd and 5 from the 21. As it's another RPO set up for the tight end, and he's pushed out of bounds at the 31, but it's a first down. Feels like there's just nothing we can do at the moment to stop this offense. They are just moving at will, and it seemed like everything we did was stopping them originally. As down goes McCown, it's Price Yates, the 2nd sack on the day for the UConn Huskies. Maybe that's what we need to get some quarterback pressures. Do you think they go to the ground here again on 3rd and 6 from the 35? No motion this time, as it's just dumped off and caught by Jeffries, and a first down for UTSA. 1st and 10 from the 42, as they will throw RPO again. Good play by Lee Millette. If he doesn't make that tackle, he's gone. From the 42, McCown back to pass, running out of time. I don't know how he threw that one away, but it's a 4th and 10. They'll punt it away. I want to take another look at that. That looked insane. What? Normally, I commentate these with like some sense of realism, but you guys have to take a look at this. He's got the ball fully tucked, but I think because he was in the middle of a throwing animation before this, it just kept the ball's trajectory based off the throwing animation, and it counts as a throwaway instead of a sack. This is one of the most insane visual glitches I've ever seen. Either that, or Bryce Yates punched the hell out of that football, and it's just the craziest fumble you've ever seen. Jackson Harper on the return, a guy we haven't talked about a lot, makes a juke move, has nothing but open field in front of him. Jackson Harper doing his best Victor Rosa impression. A punt return touchdown for the UConn Huskies. Jackson Harper, a name you probably haven't heard a bunch in this series, but I guarantee you're going to in the future. Only a sophomore, has good size, 6'2", and better speed. He's even faster than Shamar Porter. Shows off the speed there, giving the Huskies a lead. First time since the first quarter, it's 24-17. UTSA's world has come crumbling down. It was 17-10 only moments ago. Now it's 24-17. 5 minutes left here in the third quarter. This is complete on another RPO pickup of 3. And they will, of course, hurry it up as they always do. 2nd and 7. McCown throws over the middle, finds his man. Tackled by Liam Fuller, which brings us to a 3rd down and 1. Could definitely see the Roadrunners going to the ground here. They don't. They instead go to the air over the middle, finding his man. Bad coverage by Jordan Wright and Chris Grubbs. And it's a 1st down nearing midfield for UTSA. McCown with Barnes to his right, but does go to the air again. Down he goes. It's Julian Simon. Haven't seen him much today, but he gets involved here. McCown's slow to get up. Julian Simon, kind of the Victor Rosa of the defense. Definitely the most important part of the defense, I would say. Gonna hurt to see him go as well as they're launching one down the field. A man is open. Jeffries with a step. Jordan Wright, the king of getting beat down the field. He does it again. Nobody can stop him from getting beat deep down the field, as it's a touchdown for UTSA. And that's gonna knot this one up 24-24. I've seen it in the comments all season. You guys have been asking for the freshman corners that we acquired. You know, with only 2 games left, they are allowed to participate without losing the red shirt status. An offensive explosion here in the second half. A reminder, it was 10-10 going into halftime. Both teams only scoring 10 in 2 quarters. Now with some time left in the third, each team has scored 14. So we're back to pass with Nick Evers going over the middle, finding his man. It's Skylar Bell, and he's to the 46 before he goes down. 2nd down and 6. Evers to throw. Wants Lewis Hansen on a tight end screen. He's got room to work with. Not great speed, but good enough to get to the 36 first down. So now it'll be play action on 2nd down and 6. And trying to go over the middle, but Evers throwing it way too late. It's intercepted. And that's going to open the door for UTSA to take their lead back as we close in on the 4th quarter. A mistake from Nick Evers. And keep your eyes on the left side of the football field. You're going to see Jamie Santos, who is an elite cornerback prospect and a true freshman. We're bringing him in instead of Jordan Wright. He wears the number 4. You'll see him on the left side of the screen. 1st and 10 from the 42. As Lovelace on the blitz, untouched, brings down McCown. 2nd and 17. Santos, one of 2 true freshman corners with elite development on this team. And this time he's getting blocked, so Chadwick gonna have to make the tackle. Santos does eventually get involved. We enter the 4th quarter. It's 3rd and 11. It's Santos versus McEwen on the left. How will the freshman corner hold up? Well, he's not gonna get tested here. Instead, it's the freshman linebacker getting beat. Devontae Jeffries has 14 catches on the day. McCown Hands off to Barnes. Huge running lane. I love Raheem Lovelace's speed. I know there's a flag down. This is probably coming back. But if any other linebacker is where Lovelace was, we're not getting to that tackle. Part of the reason I targeted Lovelace late last season was because of the elite speed. He's just a freak athlete at middle linebacker, and he of course has elite development. Granted, this is a holding call, I believe, against Zachary Spears there, but Lovelace without that speed, I think Barnes might be gone here. Like, if this is Liam Fuller with his sub 80 speed in the game, Barnes is probably finding the end zone. I know it's a meaningless play, but I think it's worth pointing out. 3rd and forever for UTSA. This seems like the one that UConn would be giving up, though, as it's going to be a handoff. Barnes, Simon wanting none of that. 4th and 8. They are going to attempt a long field goal here. This is a 53-yard field goal attempt from UTSA. Kick is up. It's drifting inside the upright. It is good. So the Roadrunners here in the 4th quarter will take the lead back from UConn. It's going to be 27-24. What do you guys think of the idea of UTSA also joining the ACC next season? They seem like a team that might be ready. Obviously, Texas kind of a hotbed for recruiting. 1st and 10 UConn from the 25. We're going to start this drive with a Victor Rosa carry, and he'll get 7. 140 yards on the ground today for Victor. 3rd down and 3. It's going to be a handoff. Victor again. Bad blocking by Darrell Robinson. And now it's a 3rd and long. 3rd and 9 from the 26 after the huge loss. Evers back to pass, scrambling in the pocket, down he goes. And UConn no choice but to punt it away. And now another true freshman you're going to start seeing on the field a bit. This is George Kiki. He's a slot corner. He's got really good speed, even a little bit faster than Santos, as Barnes is going to get a carry. As it on 2nd and 6 is another handoff. Barnes, Price Yates is there. Flag is down. Looks like it's going to be a holding call on UTSA. Both of these freshman corners have really good man coverage, but they are terrible in zone coverage. So something to keep an eye on. We are a team that runs a lot of zone coverage, as it's going to be 3rd and 12 from the 39. 3rd down and 12. McCown back to pass, has time, has a man wide open, and this is why we don't love having Liam Fuller on the field, as he gives up a big one. Lovelace fast enough to stick with that guy. Zachary Spears needed a rest, I guess. That brings in Liam Fuller. There's a reason we don't see him, even though he's a senior, very much. It's just because he is too dang slow. 2nd and 9. A touchdown here, by the way, almost puts the game away. Near out of reach with a touchdown here. Barnes on the carry. Simon on the tackle, along with Nathan Voorhees. 3rd down and 1 from the 24 would be a huge stop here for the UConn Huskies, as it's going to be a handoff, and Lovelace in the backfield. A loss of 3, and Lovelace in Barnes's face. 4th and 4. They'll settle for another field goal attempt. Their kicker is Chase Allen, who I just learned has 94 power and 89 accuracy. Probably one of the best kickers in college football. He's going to nail this one here. So it's 30-24 for UTSA. The last drive kind of cut short after a play got blown up. Darrell Robinson missing a block. 1st and 10 from the 25. Handoff, Victor Rosa. Huge running lane again, making that guy look absolutely ridiculous with a juke move. 1st and 10. That's another one we got to take a look at. Just stopping all momentum completely and making the linebacker take out a defensive back in the meantime. Crazy move from Victor. It's too bad that we didn't get much more out of this play after that, but man, that juke is disgusting. Victor Rosa, we're gonna miss you. How do you replace a guy like him? 4.5 minutes left to play. Obviously want to chew some clock and get in the end zone here would be the most ideal scenario. Victor gonna set up a 3rd and 4. Don't need a lot of yards here on 3rd and 4. From the 49, Evers back to pass. Has Shamar Porter, and he's short of the 1st down yardage. I think we have to go for this. If we fail here, it's pretty much game over. UTSA near field goal range. 3 minutes left to play. Need a first from Victor Rosa. We didn't get it. They're ruling us just short, and UTSA is going to take over. We have to challenge that. We're challenging the call of a turnover on downs. I'm really not sure if Victor Rosa got it, but there's a good chance that UTSA takes a 3-possession lead if we don't have the first here. So in a desperation attempt, I threw the challenge flag, And it remains UTSA football. Gonna need a big play from one of the defensive players. 1st and 10 from the 48, as it's an RPO. And it's for McEwen. 2.5 minutes left in the game. 2nd and 7 from the 49. This is a critical spot. If we can get the stop around this spot on the field, as McCown goes down. A 5th sack on the day. 3rd and 16. We're gonna call a timeout here. So now we just need a stop on a 3rd and forever. As McCown gonna dump it off underneath, finding Barnes, and it's a 1st and 10 to the 40 for UTSA. And that could end it. We're gonna hit the 2-minute warning before they snap the ball again. We only have the 1 timeout. It has to be a stop. A 1st down finishes the game. You gotta assume they're gonna go to the ground here. Got kind of a loaded box. Liam Fuller in the backfield. If we can get the ball back at all, it's going to be with almost no time. 2nd and 13 from the 43. UTSA could shock the world, go to the air. No, they keep it on the ground with Barnes. And it's going to be 3rd and 11. If they get really any further downfield, they're in field goal range. 3rd and 11. Game comes down to this. They'll snap the ball with 2 seconds left on the play clock. Big tackle there from Chris Grubbs. It's 4th and 5. From the 35, which sets up another 52, 53-ish yard field goal. He made one of these earlier. If he misses, UConn has a chance. It's just inside the left upright, and it's good, which should put the game away. UTSA now up by 2 possessions, and it really feels like we kind of threw this game away in the 4th quarter. Game over. UTSA getting their 9th win on the season. This is actually the last game of their regular season. They improved to 9-3. We fall to 7-4 before our last game of the season. I'm telling you guys, that is not a 76 overall team. Definitely a bugged overall. They have a solid offense, and honestly, that defense was very difficult to pass against. The run game was working. At a certain point, you got to go to the air, and it just wasn't working great for us today. McCown also had an absurd day. I mean, 76% completion percentage, 372 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Evers, 14 of 25, 202 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. The pick probably the difference in this one, I would say. Victor Rosa, absolutely insane day. 20 attempts, 157 yards, 7.8 average, had the touchdown. Of course, had the 75-yard rushing touchdown. Receiving it was Skylar Bell, who led the way, 5 for 74. Porter 4 for 70, Hanson 3 for 27, Rosa 2 for 31. You know, it was kind of all Shamar Porter at the start of the year. Skylar Bell has really come on strong in the second part of the season. We were sacked 3 times. It was Morosky, Rizzi, and Bass giving up those 3 sacks. And defensively, leader in solo tackles, Lovelace, total tackles, Lovelace and Grubbs with 10. TFL's Hoffman, Lovelace, Millette with 2, and then a number of guys with 1. And then 5 sacks from 5 different players, including the true freshman George Kiki, getting credited with a sack. Yates gets a sack. Simon, Hoffman, and Lovelace each with a sack. Raheem Lovelace wins the FBS Independence Player of the Week for Week 13 against UTSA. Much deserved. The guy is a beast. And Victor Rosa gets the FBS Independence Offensive Player of the Week. And now we face number 13 UCF to finish the season. They're 10-2. They actually just got their 2nd loss on the year. They've had a really tough schedule in the Big 12, beating Kansas State, UNC, Cincinnati, Baylor, Oklahoma State, BYU, Texas Tech, West Virginia. Losses against Kansas, and their only other loss was against Baylor. They were a top 5 team in the country before that. Here's how the conference is stacking up in the ACC currently. Clemson is 7-1 in conference play, Stanford and Pitt 6-2, Boston College, number 1 ranked team in the country currently, 10-1, 6-1 in conference play. These are a lot of teams we're gonna have to play against. Clemson is leaving, as is Florida State, but all these other top dogs we're gonna have to play with. Stanford and Cal might be leaving. I haven't fully decided yet. It seems to me that if you're having this kind of success in the ACC at the 17 and 24 ranked teams, maybe you don't want to leave, but they could go back to a reformed Pac-12, just hopping on Clemson and Florida State leaving to jump ship. So here's the stats on the season for our players heading into the final game of the regular season. Obviously, we have one more game being the bowl game that would count towards any stats, but it's fun to see if there's any milestones that we're close to. Evers close to 3,000 yards, probably going to get it in this game, I would imagine. Victor Rosa definitely going to get over 1,000 rushing yards this season, only 7 away. away. Receiving Porter, close to 1,000, no guarantee with the lighter workload he's had recently. Victor Rosa with 730 and 11 receiving touchdowns for him. Skylar Bell, probably going to get 400 yards on the season. And defensively, Spears leading the way in tackles by a lot. But solo tackles is Lee Millette and Jordan Wright, each with 35. Julian Simon with 8.5 sacks. Matt Hoffman with 7. By the way, he's only a junior. Should be a pretty good player next season. And our leader in interceptions, Spears and Wright, each with 4. Checking on these guys we're offering for, we're now second on Jerry Willie's board. We're first with Nick Alonzo. Levi Bibbs, though, we're first, and we are technically gaining the most influence. I hate the fact that Alabama is involved now. If they decide that they want Bibbs, they have the resources to just take him from me. He does value playing time, so that could hurt Alabama a bit. So hopefully we continue to just gain the most influence per week there. Taulia Sue is kind of a similar situation. Florida has gotten into the mix now. Another team where if they just decide that they want him, they're probably gonna get him. And we are still gaining the most influence for Shaq Cleveland, but now SMU is getting in the mix as well. And they obviously have the proximity to home that we do not have, which is one of his key selling points. You can see the green check there in the bottom right. Our proximity to home is an F all the way here in Connecticut. And then with Joshua Dora, UNC now wants in the mix. So we might have to go a bit harder with Dora. Unfortunately, we're to the point where we cannot schedule visits, but we can go hard sell plus soft sell at the same time and see if we can get Dora. It does look like UNC got more influence than us this past week, so they might be able to swoop in and steal him. We've still had a really good recruiting class, though. We are all the way up to 26th, above teams like Duke, Washington, Texas Tech, Arkansas, and the team we're playing today in UCF. But it is time for the final regular season game against UCF, a team that is top 15 in the country currently. Spent most of the year in the top 5, a recent loss to Kansas, bringing them down to 10-2 and down to the 13th ranked team in the country. UConn been flirting with the rankings for a good chunk of the season, but have had kind of a bad ending to the year, dropping 2 games to some weaker opponents after getting a huge upset against Ohio State. Can we finish strong, or will we drop our last game to UCF? The QB1 for UCF is Ja'Cory Brown, an 84 overall junior. Halfback is Miles Montgomery, a very good senior halfback. Wide receiver 1, Xavier Townsend, and then they have Chauncey Magwood, Lawrence Pullard, and Bradell Richardson. And then the tight end is Randy Pittman Jr. It is a strong offense. The UConn defense has not been playing as well recently. We'll see if they can find some form again, as it's a handoff to start the day. Quincy Bryan, broken tackle, but Chadwick is there. And another team that runs a hurry-up offense. Brown out of the shotgun, kind of an empty box for UConn. And it's a keeper for Brown, who has excellent speed. I mean, look at him down the field, struggling to catch him are the UConn defenders. And finally, Ja'Cory Brown goes down after a pickup of 31. First and 10 at the 45 as they hurry it back to the line. Will it be a lot of read option from UCF today? Is that part of why they've been so successful all season? As it's going to be a jet touch pass, trying to find a lane, but Price Yates lays him out. UCF wanting to secure a playoff spot. They are definitely in the conversation for the playoffs, as it's a loss of 1 for Montgomery. I'm not sure why, but Julian Simon is lined up as the middle linebacker right now, back in pass coverage, as throwing it away is Brown, and it's a 4th down to start the day for UCF. Just looking for some mistake-free football today are the UConn Huskies. Feels like we kind of threw the game away against UTSA with the interception. And other mistakes from the offensive line with holding penalties. A pickup of 1 to start the day for Victor Rosa. 2nd and 9 as Evers is back to pass. Goes over the middle, has Skylar Bell. And it's a 1st and 10 to the 29. 2nd and 10 from the 29. We'll go back to the ground with Victor Rosa. Has some room downfield. And it's a big 1st down pickup to the 43 for Victor. Running to the left side of this line really does work well. It just has resulted in a lot of penalties recently. On 1st and 10, we're going to run to the left again. Victor following his blockers and getting another 1st down to the 45. Robinson checks in, Rosa needing a breather, and will go over the middle. Lewis Hanson on the reception. Linebacker too slow. What a stiff arm from the big tight end. Down to the 9. 1st and goal, UConn. Feels like we've kind of been a bad red zone team this season, especially in goal-to-go situations. Second and goal from the 4. It's a direct snap. Victor Rosa up the gut into the end zone. Touchdown, UConn. I was just talking about how we're bad in the red zone, but Victor Rosa putting on his crown proves me wrong. Touchdown, Huskies. We'll take an early lead against UCF. First and 10 for the Knights, as it's a handoff for Montgomery. A huge running lane here to the right side. One man to beat. It's Lee Millette. Can't get past him, though, to the 44. It's a first and 10. This UCF offense definitely seems like it has a lot of explosive potential. As Brown throws downfield, Cam Chadwick beat. Speaking of explosive plays, there's one on the second play of the drive. Touchdown, Knights. Feeling like they were outdone on the first attempt, wanting to show that they can score at will against the UConn Huskies. Xavier Townsend, the senior wideout, with the touchdown. I think we're going to bring in those freshman corners. This feels like one of those games where we're not going to be able to get any stops defensively. And in order to keep up, we're just going to have to keep scoring ourselves. Wasn't too hard on the last drive. Hopefully we can get it done again here. Second and 9 from the 21. Evers back to pass. Has his tight end, Lewis Hanson, down the field. And it's a first and 10 to the 42. The big fella involved so far today. First and 10 from the 42 as we near midfield. Victor Rosa on the carry. Has good blockers here to the outside. Jukes back in and gets a first, but no broken tackles. From the 46, man in motion is Skylar Bell, and it's going to be a jet touch pass to him. Has a lead blocker in Victor Rosa, but there's a flag down. And wouldn't you know it, it's a holding penalty. I believe that is Wes Ho. Seem to have a few of those a game recently that are just absolute drive killers. First and 20, back to pass with Nick Evers. Shamar Porter down the field. It's caught, but a holding penalty. This time on Jacob Rizzi. First down and 30 yards to go for the UConn Huskies. Evers back to pass, hits Alex Honig, and that's only good for 5. Second and 25. So we'll throw for Skylar Bell. Screen set up for him and bounces it to the outside. It's going to be 3rd and 17. From the 46, 3rd and very, very long. We're going to lob one up down the field. It's Kylish Hicks, and he can't make the grab. It falls incomplete. 4th down. What do you know? 2 holding penalties completely kill a UConn Huskies drive. First and 10 from the 24 as it's a throw to the tight end. Santos can't get there. And finally he's brought down. You will notice Santos in the game. You'll also notice Kiki in the game, both of the freshman corners. Handoff Montgomery, and he's going to break a couple of tackles, brought down by Lovelace at the 47. Yeah, pretty significant stop here from UConn. If they can manage. They're down inches to go. Handoff Montgomery. Lovelace is there, and he loses a yard. 4th and 1 for UCF, and they will punt it away. What a play by the true freshman linebacker. Second quarter is underway. We're locked up at 7. UConn with the football. Hanson in motion, and it's play action. Evers rolling and throwing over the middle. It's intercepted. He seems to be good for one of these a game recently. At least it's not a pick six, pushing the defender out of bounds. But it's another turnover for the junior quarterback, Nick Evers. And UCF going to take over first and goal from the 9. That's on me. I just held the button too long. Got it into the red. Wanted to make sure it was thrown pretty hard, but not quite that hard. First and goal from the 9. As it's a keeper for Brown, and Grubbs there on the tackle. Empty set for Brown here. So 3rd and goal from the 5. Just need the man coverage to hold up, and it doesn't. Immediately, Chris Grubbs gives up the touchdown, and UCF will take the lead here early in the second quarter. 7 and 5 feels like it would be kind of a collapse from the Huskies after having such a great start to the year. First and 10 from the 25. UCF, though, we know, an excellent football team. Victor Rosa on the carry has the first down to the 37. The running game just seems to work with Victor Rosa of late. Would love to just be a ground and pound team, and maybe we can do that as it's a pickup of 3 for Victor. 9 minutes left in the second quarter. Evers back to pass, has Shamar Porter underneath, and he stiff arms a defender and falls forward to the 44. Empty set for Evers. So we're going to the air. And it's a throw over the middle for Hansen, and he's got the reception, 3rd and 1. From the 35, 3rd down and 1, 7 minutes left to play in the half. Victor Rosa on the carry, breaks a tackle, has more running room, has the first most importantly. A penalty pushes us back slightly. It's 1st and 15 from the 30. As we've got a man in motion, it's the backup tight end, Alex Honig. And it's going to be play action, Victor Rosa. We're looking down the field towards the end zone for Shamar Porter. It's intercepted again. The safety read it, stepped up, and took it away. And UCF going to take over from their own 18. Nick Evers getting a little bit too big for his britches, I would say. I talked about needing mistake-free football, and we've had 2 mistakes from the junior quarterback already. 6 minutes left to play in the half, and it's an RPO for the tight end again, and despite having excellent speed, Jamie Santos just cannot tackle him. Now make it 1st and 10 from the 38. Montgomery switches to the right side, and Brown will fake the handoff, throws downfield, and it's caught again. Santos in coverage, not doing the best. That'll set up a 3rd down and 5 situation from the 32, as it's a fake to Montgomery, and a throw downfield, intercepted. It's Raheem Lovelace. There is a flag down. If it's on UCF, then it's UConn football. Roughing the passer on Curvin's chute means that UCF gets an automatic 1st down instead of the Raheem Lovelace interception. I do think Curvin's has a bright future next season, but that is a very late tackle. So instead of a 1st and 10 for UConn, a great play made by Raheem Lovelace in coverage. It's a 1st and 10 for UCF. Good blocking, but a good tackle by Chris Grubbs. 2nd and 4 from the 11. And it's another handoff to Montgomery, and a flag is down again, this time probably on the O-line. So that'll set up a 2nd and 14 from the 21. You've got Kiki in the slot. You got Santos out wide to the left, but it's a running play. Spears is there, our leader in tackles. Gets another one and sets up a 3rd and 13. You got to feel really good about the future of this defense. We've got 3 elite development trait players, and it's a keeper for the quarterback. Down he goes. Price Yates on the tackle, and they'll set up for a field goal. Kick is on its way, and it is through. So 17-7 for UCF, a 2-possession lead. Probably need a score here if you're UConn to keep the game close. There's only 4 minutes left here in the first half. It's going to be a handoff, Victor Rosa. He's got basically nothing to work with. 2nd and 7 from the 28. Play action, Evers to throw, and has Lewis Hansen, who's been very involved through the passing game today. 1st and 10 from the 38. Evers back to throw again. Gonna roll out to his left and running. Good blocking from Skylar Bell, and it's a 1st down for UConn. 2nd and 11 from the 50. Evers back to pass, running out of time, gets it off, but it's incomplete. That brings us to a 3rd and 11. Evers back to pass again. Wants Shamar Porter, who's open down the field. A good pickup for the sophomore wideout. Gets to the 13. 1st and 10 UConn. 2nd and 4 from the 7 as Evers is back to pass. Wants Gathings and has him. Touchdown UConn. Keeping it close with the UCF Knights. They have a very explosive offense. Our offense, not known for its explosive plays. Mostly known for the slow and methodical pace which we move down the field with. And this time it is Gathings getting the touchdown reception. And it's going to make it 17-14 after the PAT. I mentioned UCF's offense is explosive, and they have 1 minute and 9 seconds to try to drive the field. They're not going to need it. It's a completion over the middle. Lee Millette just left his man wide open. There was no deep safety, and it's a huge pickup for UCF. That also pushed the quarterback, Ja'Cory Brown, over 3,000 yards on the season. As downfield, open man, the zone coverage just is not good for UConn today. We are getting diced up through the air. My main issue with these freshman corners is that they are so terrible in zone coverage. What a play by Chris Grubbs, though. Oh my goodness. Chris Grubbs saving a touchdown with that swat away. 3rd and 9 from the 11. Brown back to pass, has so much time, goes over the middle, back of the end zone, touchdown UCF. Right in front of the Knight mascot, and that will make it a 2-possession lead once again for the Knights, as we just cannot keep up against this air raid attack. 29 seconds, 3 timeouts. If we can move down the field pretty quickly, we could get some points here before the half. as we have Hansen open right side. He holds on and he goes out of bounds at the 50. Lewis Hansen, have yourself a day. 17 seconds left, 2nd and 10. Evers to throw, hit as he throws, falls incomplete. 3rd and 10 from the 50 as Evers looks to throw again, wants Skylar Bell over the middle. He holds on through the contact. We'll call a timeout. With 9 seconds left, we're back to pass again. And we're lobbing one up for Kylish Hicks. It's swatted away, 4 seconds. Really no choice but to attempt a very long field goal. Zach Costanzo, kick is up. It's veering left. It's inside the left upright, and the freshman kicker nails a 50-plus yarder to bring UConn back within a touchdown. And that ends the first half, so we head to the halftime update, 24-17. Does feel like UCF is kind of firmly in control of this game, with UConn sort of playing catch-up after the 2 interceptions in the first half from Nick Evers, which again, feels very much like it's the difference today. UConn starts with the football, so that field goal by Zach Costanzo actually very important, as a touchdown here would tie the game up, as Evers is gonna go down. I'm not gonna lie, I wanted to throw it to Lewis Hansen on the check down to the left. It took until like here for the buttons to show up, and by that point it was really just kind of too late. It just took forever for those button prompts to pop up. Looking like we're maybe not gonna have the best start to the second half for the Huskies. Evers on the move, finds Josiah Gathings, finds the first, goes down at the 39. What a play by Nick Evers and Josiah Gathings. Big first down for UConn. 1st and 10 from the 39. Evers to pass, wants Victor Rosa over the middle and has him, and he's past the 50 to the UCF 46. On 2nd and 6 from the 42. Evers back to pass again. And it's a screen set up for Skylar Bell. Really good blocking. Gathings can't hold his block for too long down the field, though. But Bell does get all the way to the 15. 2nd and 8 from the 14. Rosa in motion. And Evers back to pass. Tries to hit Victor, but honestly would have been better as an incompletion. 3rd and 12. From the 17, 3rd down, 12 to go. As Evers having to scramble, throwing over the middle, finding Josiah Gathings in the end zone, but I believe he was past the line of scrimmage. Illegal forward pass, and instead it's going to be 4th and 17. I mean, this was a great play by Nick Evers as well. Stepping up in the pocket, Jacob Rizzi got beat, and then Evers, as soon as he breaks the tackle, throwing, gets it over the linebacker and finds Gathings in the end zone. Just like a half a step over the line of scrimmage. Brutal. That brings Costanzo in for another field goal attempt on a 4th and 17. This one quite a bit easier than the 50-yarder he made earlier, and that is good. So it's 24-20. UCF still with the 4-point lead, and our defense still basically showing no ability to stop this UCF offense. A first down on the first play. So a 1st and 10 from the 26 as they hurry it up. It's a handoff. Montgomery, Julian Simon untouched. A loss of 3 from the 29. Got to anticipate that they'd probably go to the air here. They will indeed, to the outside, and it's a first down picked up against the freshman Santos. 1st and 10 to the 39. Man in motion to the left side. Out of the shotgun. It's a fake handoff and then a throw over the middle. Broken tackle, and there's nobody else even close. See you later. Touchdown Knights. UCF's offense is just way too good for this UConn Huskies defense. It's Richardson on the reception. Brown another touchdown pass. It's going to be 31-21 after the PAT. UConn's offense takes over. Got to stop settling for field goals. But if it's a shootout, it feels like we're kind of already too far behind as Victor Rosa gets about 10 yards, just short of the first. 2nd and inches from the 35 as Rosa's going to get another carry. Tries to juke to the outside, but the defender stays patient. Still a first down, though. The running game really is working well, but Evers is typically under too much pressure for the passing game to work too much. As Robinson's in the game, gets a good carry here, jukes back to the inside, breaks a couple tackles, and gets a first of the 43. Darrell Robinson, of course, maybe expected to be the primary back next season. Cam Edwards should still be on the team, as we've got Victor Rosa in motion. We're back to pass. Over the middle, finding Shamar Porter. It's a pickup of 8. If the offense can score a touchdown on this drive and the defense can just get one stop, we could be back in this football game. Victor Rosa on the carry has a first to the 25. 2.5 minutes left in the third quarter. We've got the tight end in motion. Gonna be play action to Victor Rosa. A man open down the field. It's Shamar Porter, and it falls incomplete. A step overthrown by Nick Evers. Porter can't hold on through the dive. That is a huge missed opportunity. That probably should have been a touchdown. So we've got a tight end in motion again. This time it's Lewis Hansen. And it's going to be a handoff to the senior halfback, Victor Rosa, and it sets up a 3rd and 3. From the 18, 3rd down and 3. So we'll try to get this to Lewis Hansen. Nearly a devastating pick 6. Now it's 4th and 3. And I kind of agree with the offensive coordinator's decision here. We got to go for it. We can't stop this UCF offense. We can't settle for more field goals. Josiah Gathings gets the grab. Hansen with a block. End zone. Touchdown UConn. 4th and 3 turns into 6 for Josiah Gathings. A great block upfield from Lewis Hansen. And UConn chips away at the lead. We are lined up to go for 2 here. Of course, it being good means we'd be within a field goal. Missing, we're down by a touchdown anyway. So what does it matter? From the 3, 2-point conversion, direct snap, Victor Rosa, no blocking. That is crazy. Is this my fault? What did I do wrong? Wow, the right guard just completely skips the D tackle. Wes Ho goes after the guy who's already on Jaden Bass. I guess it's a miscommunication, but neither the center or the right guard picks up the D tackle, and it just leaves the guy to come in for free. Victor Rosa, I think, scores if that block is picked up. That is brutal. We've taken the freshman corners out of the game. Clearly it wasn't working. Switching up to more man coverage wasn't helping. We're going back to man. We had a lot more success with that this season, as this one is a loss of 2 yards. I think I said we're going back to man. I meant to say we're going back to zone, as man coverage was not working too well. I think I just got my words backwards. 2nd and 12 from the 16. All kinds of time for Brown over the middle. It doesn't matter the type of coverage. We're just getting diced up by the UCF offense. Ja'Curry Brown over 300 yards on the day. We've been unable to get pressures. This O-line has been consistently very good until this play. Zachary Spears on the blitz. A loss of 6. Zachary Spears hearing my cries for help. It's 2nd and 16 from the 39, and it's a handoff to Montgomery. There's a flag down Montgomery, a huge stiff arm. Simon brings him down from behind. Looks like it was probably a holding penalty. I'm going to be honest, I considered declining it, but a 2nd and 25 feels a little bit too good to pass up. From the 30, 20 seconds left in the third. It's a fake handoff, and then a check down, and Chadwick all over incomplete. So it was the right call to accept the penalty, because it would have been a 3rd and 14. Now instead it's a 3rd and 25 for the UCF Knights. Man in motion is Montgomery, and Brown will just dump it off to him. Just need a sure tackle from anyone, and we get it done. It's Cam Chadwick. Pick up a 4, and finally the defense rewards us with a stop. The 4th quarter is underway, and from the 23, UConn has the football, an opportunity with a touchdown to take a lead in this game, as Victor Rosa makes a man miss and gets 3 yards where maybe he should have lost 1. 3rd down and 7 from the 26. Evers back to pass, stepping up in the pocket, checking it down to Skylar Bell, and he's going to have the first down to the 36. Was initially looking downfield for Shamar Porter. Didn't feel like it would have worked out. 1st and 10 from the 36, though. It's a carry for Rosa. No blocking from the center. That makes it a 2nd and 13 situation. Handoff Victor again, and man, UCF now is all over the run game. 3rd and 11. Evers is back to throw, stepping up in the pocket. Down he goes. 4th and 11. And we're going to have to ask our defense for yet another stop. Is that too much to ask of this defense? I think the answer is probably yes. Handoff Montgomery, a lot of guys in the backfield. Montgomery to the right, and it's a handoff to him again, and down he goes again. This time it's Liam Fuller. 3rd and 14. Maybe I spoke too soon. Maybe the defense is prepared to get a stop here, as it's a fake. And then with time running out, Julian Simon with a big sack. 4th and 20 for UCF. The defense stepping up when it's needed. UConn's offense will get another chance. 6:25 left to play. UConn with the football. Handoff, Victor Rosa, big blitz from UCF, a loss of 3. Suddenly, they are just not allowing the run to work. They've decided they don't want it anymore. Evers, back to pass. He's going to dump this off to Shamar Porter to set up a 3rd and 5. From the 27, 3rd down and 5, Evers back to pass, has Shamar Porter underneath. It's good for a first, and he goes down at the 38. Fresh set of downs. Still plenty of time left in this football game. No need to panic. We can take our sweet time on this drive. From the 38, a carry, Victor Rosa. Finally, another one that works well. 2nd and 3, 4 minutes left to play. Darrell Robinson has checked in, giving Rosa a break, who has had quite the workload today. And Robinson going to get the first down to the 49. 3.5 minutes left. Evers back to Robinson. Breaks a tackle, flag down. I gotta assume that's on the O-line. It's actually on Lewis Hansen, but it is a holding call. Drive was going so well to that point. That kind of throws a wrench in things. It's on 1st and 17. We're back to pass. And we're going to give it to Honig, but he's drilled on a hospital pass. 2nd and 17. From the 42, 2nd down, 17 to go. We're going to lob one up. We want Shamar Porter. Can he make the grab? No, he can't. And now it's 3rd and 17. A big 3rd down here. If we can't convert, we have to give it back to the defense and see if they can come up with yet another stop. We're going to go over the middle. Should have been intercepted. 4th and 17. As I mentioned, now we just have to put it in the hands of the defense. See if they can get a stop. UCF offense starts from the 17. Tasked with trying to kill the rest of this clock. 3 minutes remains. It's a keeper for the quarterback. Chadwick, the only one that read it properly, and thank God he did. If he doesn't read that, there's a good chance the quarterback's gone there. 2:20 left to play, and it's an RPO. It's complete, and it's going to be short of the first down yardage. So now we're past the 2-minute warning. 3rd and 2, a direct snap to Montgomery in the Wildcat, and it's going to get a first down. Grubbs pushes him out of bounds. That's actually a pretty good thing for UConn. Him staying inbounds, of course, would have kept the clock ticking. Now we can use our timeouts to get stops as they'll hand it off. Montgomery, Grubbs is there, timeout number 1. On 2nd and 10 from the 37. It's, of course, a handoff again. Really good blocking up the middle. Lee Millette gets the tackle. 3rd and 7. Would not be entirely surprised to see a throw here. A first down ends the game. It is a throw over the middle, and it's tipped away. There is a flag down. They're showing Julian Simon. It's going to be a roughing the passer. Julian Simon, the superstar senior pass rusher, just cost the offense an opportunity to tie this game up. I guess not to tie the game up, but to rather take the lead. And now I don't know if there is a way for us to get the ball back. Brutal time for that penalty from a guy who I don't think has had a penalty the entire rest of the season. Flag is down. That might have been a stupid call, but I actually declined the penalty there because it stops the clock. And now it's 3rd down. So they'll need the first. They don't get it. It's 4th and 1. It looks like they're keeping the offense on the field. The game comes down to this. 4th and 1 from the 35. They snap it. A keeper for the halfback, Montgomery. They don't get it. UConn going to have 52 seconds to score a touchdown to win the game. I'm not sure what UCF was doing there. That felt like a terrible play. Why not just punt it and force us to drive down the field with no time? Now we have decent starting field position. But down goes Evers, and he coughs up the football, recovered by one of the linemen, which makes it a 2nd and 19. The blocking has just not been there for Nick Evers today. We're back to pass again, and down he goes again. We have to hurry it up. It's 3rd and 20. Under 30 seconds left to play. 3rd and 20 from the 29. It's obviously 4-down territory, so we're going to throw it right side for Shamar Porter. Got to hurry it up again. It's 4th down and 2. The game could come down to this. 4th and 2, 10 seconds left to play. As we're just going to have to lob one up for the senior Josiah Gathings. It falls incomplete, and the game is over. We made it dramatic at the end, but I think the better football team won today. UCF just looked like a better ball club throughout. The defense really gave us a chance. We screwed it up on a number of offensive possessions. This is a game that I think was winnable. But again, I think the better team won. So UConn finishes the year 7-5. Here's the player stats from this game. Nick Evers, 22 of 39, 338 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. Again, I think it's the picks that cost us the game. Rosa had a crazy number of touches. We became very run heavy in these last few games. Receiving, Porter, 6 for 98. He does hit 1,000 yards on the season. Hansen, 5 for 95. Bell, another solid 76. Gathings with 52 and 2 touchdowns. And Rosa, 2 for 12. Blocking, it was tough out here today, but I mean, Ben Morosky is a beast. He's already an 81 overall, by the way. He's only a sophomore. Grubbs led in solo tackles, total tackles also Grubbs. TFL's Simon with 3, but did have, again, that penalty that cost us a lot of time there at the end. Did have a sack, and Spears with a sack as well. Well, what a last couple of games to finish out the regular season, huh? That was kind of insane. UConn finishes 7-5. That honestly feels a little underwhelming. We finished with 2 losses in a row. Really felt like it probably should have been about an 8-win season. And to be honest, probably should have been an 8-win season because of the South Alabama game that we choked away. We'll go ahead and advance the week before we end the episode. And for now, we're still kind of maxed out on recruiting. And what I'm kind of thinking is going to happen with Levi Bibbs appears to be in the works. Alabama gaining about the same amount of influence as us, overtaking Oregon State. Like I said, if they decide that they want him, we're just not going to be able to compete. And I don't know if we're going to be able to compete for Shaquille Cleland either. We don't have any points to schedule a visit. We also don't have any weeks available, obviously, to schedule a visit. A&M, SMU, and I think even Texas Tech, all 3 with more influence this past week than we got. And we are basically maxed out on points. I could do 5 more. I don't have those 5 more currently. At this point, it's basically over. I think we're going to lose Cleland. It's a little unfortunate, but we have had a really good recruiting class either way. Even if we don't get any of these guys, I'm still very happy with the guys we've been able to bring in. And we should get a chunk of the guys we have left. Avery Johnson of Kansas State wins the Heisman. Their junior quarterback, 3,600 yards, 31 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Cam Chadwick wins defensive back of the year. That's the second year in a row where our slot corner has won defensive back of the year. Last year it was Zachary Spears. I know he's a linebacker this season, but he played slot corner even as a safety for the most part last season, and he won defensive back of the year. UConn owns defensive back of the year, I guess. Julian Simon wins best linebacker. What an absolute stud. Sad to see him go. Hopefully he gets drafted. I'm hoping that Victor Rosa and Julian Simon, despite them only being kind of like 86-ish overall, will get drafted. And we will play Bowling Green in the Myrtle Beach Bowl. This seems like another season where we're kind of getting a weaker opponent in our bowl game. Bowling Green, huh? They went 7-5 and they are a 75 overall. I mean, we're a 79. We've lost to bad teams before. So it's us versus Bowling Green in the Myrtle Beach Bowl. I think that we should have gotten a better bowl game. And I think without that loss to South Alabama, we probably would have gotten a better bowl matchup. So here's the early national signing day. I think we're screwed. I think Auburn is going to get Jerry Willies, which really sucks. I think Oklahoma State is probably going to steal Alonzo from us, and unfortunately we can't move points around at the moment. Like, I could remove points from Nick Alonzo right now, but I don't believe I could add any because it says we're at 0 of 0 hours, so that would just be a mistake. I mean, Bama is going to get Levi Bibbs, Florida's going to get Taulia Sue, Georgia's here as well, so can't compete there. A&M probably going to get Shaq Cleland, so we're about to lose about 4 of our top guys, it looks like. In fact, I think we're going to lose Willies, we're going to lose Alonzo, we're going to lose Bibbs, we're going to lose Sue, we're going to lose Cleland, and we might even lose Joshua Dora. It's very close. We might get him with the commitment after this week, but UNC is making up ground. And now Pitt has decided they want our punter, and we might not even get him. So we're kind of getting bodied a little bit here at the end of the recruiting cycle. And in fact, I'm a little glad that it got patched where you're not just going to see these 4-star guys getting no offers near the end. So it's good to see that these bigger name schools like A&M, SMU, Texas Tech, and Texas are all trying to get in now. Same with Florida and Georgia. Here's a look at the college football playoff bracket. And don't worry, I'll go over a season recap in a lot more depth after our bowl game episode. So like the next episode will be pretty much exclusively the bowl game, and then the off-season episode, we'll have a year 2 recap. So I'll show you guys all of the stats and everything about the Dynasty at that point. But here is the playoff bracket. Your 1 seed is Oregon, the 2 seed is A&M, 3 seed Clemson, 4 seed Kansas State. And then the first round matchups are Boston College and Liberty, Georgia versus Penn State. That's a really fun one. UCF versus Alabama, and Tulane making the college football playoff versus Ohio State. Definitely seems like Tulane should be in a bigger conference, as should Liberty after making the playoffs. But anyway, that was a super long episode. I really hope you guys enjoyed, and thank you so much for the continued support. In the next episode, we'll play the Myrtle Beach Bowl against Bowling Green, and then we'll get into the offseason. And I think that this Dynasty is going to get really fun in year number 3. UConn, of course, joining the ACC. Who knows if they're even ready for that? The senior season of our quarterback, Nick Evers. A lot of these freshmen getting to the point where they'll be playable. I think this series is about to be a lot of fun in the future. I'd also like to apologize for the delay in the episodes. Obviously, with the Madden release week, I was kind of focusing on that. And then with Madden being as trash as it was, I was focusing on getting some content out about that. But now we're back. Expect UConn close to every day, I would say, maybe every other day. I am back in my fall semester in college, so I won't have quite as much time as I had over the summer. But I do want to release videos pretty much daily. But if you find yourself coming back on the regular and you aren't already subscribed, go ahead and hit that sub button for me. It does help me out a lot. And I will see you guys in the next episode, where we'll finish out year number 2 against Bowling Green in the Myrtle Beach Bowl.